Katrina never touched the piano in the main dining room. She only cleaned it. Wiped it. Polished the glossy black surface until her reflection vanished under the perfect sheen. But tonight, something pulled her closer. The restaurant had emptied, mostly. A few late diners lingered at their tables, white linen, empty glasses, lazy laughter. The live pianist had cancelled. The piano sat in silence, unused. Lonely. Katrina's rag moved over the keys. Just a little pressure. Her fingertip slipped. A single chord bloomed into the air, rich, deep, a low G with a warmth she hadn't heard in years. She froze. Did you hear that? The voice was sharp. Male. From behind. She turned. Mr. Browning, owner of the Magnolia Room, was standing by the bar, watching her with the kind of smile that didn't reach his eyes. A few of his guests looked over. One woman chuckled. Didn't know the cleaning lady played piano, he said, raising his glass. You hiding something from us, Katrina? She straightened up, rag in hand. Sorry, sir. I didn't mean. Nah, don't apologize, he said. Come on. Let's see what you got. The room shifted. Laughter. The sound of a phone camera being tapped on. Mr. Browning gestured toward the bench like he was offering a prize. Give us a little show, honey. Katrina stood still, fingers clenched around the rag. Not like this, she thought. But all eyes were on her now. Katrina hadn't sat at a piano in over 30 years. Not since her mama passed. Not since the day the church sold the old upright to fix the roof. And now here she was, in her work uniform, standing in front of a glossy Steinway in a room that wasn't made for women like her to exist, let alone perform. Mr. Browning leaned on the bar, swirling his bourbon. Go on. Play us something pretty, he said, like he was offering her a chance of a lifetime. Or a joke he couldn't wait to finish. She looked around. A couple in the corner sipped wine, watching. A man in a navy golf shirt had already started filming. A waiter she knew, Ricky, stood frozen near the kitchen door, eyes locked on hers. Katrina walked to the bench. Not because she wanted to. Because she knew the game. She'd seen it before, the harmless fun, the way they laughed at you even when you did it right. Maybe especially when you did it right. She sat. Her hands hovered over the keys. She could feel the weight of their stares pressing down on her shoulders. Any minute now, someone said under their breath, with a soft snort. She probably just bumped it by accident, another added. She took a breath. Closed her eyes. And then her fingers moved. Not for them. Not for Browning. Not for the man with the phone or the woman with the smirk. She played the first thing her mama ever taught her. A hymn. His eye is on the sparrow. Slow. Careful. Raw. The notes poured out soft and aching, like something broken remembering it used to be whole. By the time she reached the second verse, the room had gone quiet. Forks stopped clinking. Drinks rested untouched. Even the camera had dropped a few inches. The music kept flowing, deeper now. Her fingers found confidence, rhythm, truth. And then. A voice. Where the hell did she learn to do that? Someone whispered, not bothering to whisper quietly enough. She didn't stop playing. But she opened her eyes. And looked straight at Mr. Browning. Browning didn't smile anymore. He stood by the bar, still holding his drink, but something in his grip had changed. Tightened. Like the glass might break in his hand if he squeezed just a little harder. Katrina's fingers moved like they had always known where to go. And truth be told, they had. She didn't just play music. She remembered it. Like it was something buried deep in her skin, under the bleach and mop water and overtime hours. Something that lived in her bones. She didn't rush. She didn't show off. But every note carried weight. The kind of weight that made people stop pretending not to listen. By the time she finished the hymn, the silence was thick. Even the air seemed heavier, like it had taken a deep breath and forgot how to let go. Katrina lifted her hands from the keys, resting them in her lap. She didn't look at the guests. Just stared at the polished floor and waited, for the laughter to return, for Browning to clap slow and mocking, for someone to remind her what her real job was. Instead, "She ever play here before?" someone muttered. "Not once," said another. "She just cleans." The word cleans landed flat now. Like it didn't fit anymore. Ricky finally moved. He walked over, unsure, and stood near the piano like he wasn't sure if he should speak or bow or run. "Miss Katrina," he said, voice low, that was real. Katrina didn't answer. She just nodded, barely. Then Mr. Browning stepped forward. "All right," he said, voice too calm. Too rehearsed. "That's enough." He smiled, that smile. The one that tried to pretend none of this had happened. "You've all had your little surprise. Time to let our staff get back to work." Something in the room cracked. Not a sound, a feeling. Like something sacred had been stepped on. Ricky spoke up, louder than he meant to. "You serious?" Browning turned slowly. "Excuse me?" "You saw what she just did," Ricky said. "You gonna pretend like that was nothing?" A few heads turned. The silence wasn't friendly anymore. It was charged. Katrina stood. "It's fine," she said to Ricky. Calm. Steady. But her voice had weight now. Just like the music. She gathered her rag, her cleaning cart. And turned to walk away. Then, from the back of the room, soft, tentative applause. One woman. Then another. And then it spread. The kind of applause that wasn't polite. The kind that meant something. But Katrina didn't look back. By morning, the video had over 300,000 views. Someone, maybe the man in the golf shirt, maybe one of Browning's own friends, had uploaded the clip with the caption. "Cleaning lady stuns fancy restaurant with gospel piano performance." It hit TikTok first. Then Twitter. Then the local news blog that always chased stories with a little heat. Katrina didn't have TikTok. Or Instagram. Or anything, really. She was scrubbing a kitchen floor when Ricky burst in, phone in hand, face lit like Christmas. "You're going viral," he said, grinning. "I'm going what?" He showed her the clip. Her hands. The keys. The moment. Even on a phone screen, the music felt real. And then she saw the comments. "She's incredible. Who is she?" That man tried to humiliate her. She played like a damn legend. Hire her. Now. Katrina just blinked. "I didn't ask for this," she said softly. Ricky nodded, more serious now. "No, ma'am. But maybe it's yours anyway." Mr. Browning was not enjoying the attention. By noon, the Magnolia Room's Yelp page had 36 new reviews. Most of them glowing, but not for the food. For her. One read. "We came for oysters. Stayed for Katrina." Another. "Owner tried to make her a joke. Ended up the punchline." Reporters started calling. A local radio station left a voicemail asking if Katrina would come in for an interview. Browning ignored them all. Until the phone rang, and it wasn't a reporter. It was his investors. He paced his office, watching the muted video on his laptop, Katrina at the piano, eyes closed, hands alive. It should have been a good thing. It would have been. If he hadn't made it so public. If he hadn't tried to own the moment, and failed. He picked up the phone and dialed the kitchen. "Send Katrina up to my office," he said. Voice flat. Jaw tight. The walk to Browning's office felt longer than usual. Every step down the quiet hallway was lined with framed black and white photos, celebrities who dined here, articles from glossy magazines, awards behind glass. None of them featured Katrina. She knocked once. "Come in," he said. She opened the door. He was behind his desk, not standing to greet her. No smile this time. Not even that fake southern hospitality he usually wore like a sport coat. He gestured to the chair in front of him. She didn't sit. Browning leaned back and folded his hands like a man preparing to make a deal. "So," he said. "You've become quite the little star." Silence. He waited. Nothing from Katrina. "Listen, I think we got off on the wrong foot last night," he began. "I didn't mean for it to come off like I was mocking you. You played beautifully." She didn't answer. He continued. "You've got talent, Katrina. Real talent. And now the world knows it. Which, in a way, is good for all of us." She narrowed her eyes, just a little. "All of us?" "Sure. The restaurant's getting more attention than ever. Bookings are up this morning. We're already a trending location on Google. I mean," he smiled, like the idea amused him, "people are calling just to ask if you'll be performing again." Still, she didn't move. "I want to offer you something," he said. "A new position. Let's say resident pianist. You'd still do a bit of your regular work, of course. But once a week, maybe twice, you play. We keep it organic. Natural. Authentic." The word authentic hung in the air like a bad smell. Katrina blinked. Once. Slow. Then said. "You want to turn me into a feature." He paused. "I want to give you a platform." "No, you want to sell what you tried to shame," she said, voice calm but edged. "You want to package me. Like a memory that makes you feel better about what you did." For the first time, he was the one who blinked. She turned to leave. "Wait," he said. She stopped. "Think this through, Katrina. Fame like this, it doesn't last. But if you play it right, you can make something out of it. You can work with me, or..." He didn't finish the sentence. Didn't have to. Katrina turned her head just enough to look him in the eye. "I already made something out of it," she said. "And it didn't involve you." Then she walked out. By that weekend, the restaurant was packed, not for the food, but for the story. People didn't just want dinner. They wanted Katrina. They wanted the woman from the video. The miracle. The myth. Every table whispered. "Is she here? Do they let her play every night now? God, I hope she comes out." Some came to cheer her. Some came to claim a piece of her. And some, like Browning, saw dollar signs walking in through the front door. He sent Ricky to check if she felt like playing tonight. The way someone might check on the weather. She said no. Politely. Quietly. Firmly. She was there to clean. That night, as she pushed her cart past the dining room, someone spotted her. A ripple of murmurs spread like a match in dry grass. Then, a single voice. "Sing something, Miss Katrina." She stopped. Looked at the faces, eager, grinning, a sea of strangers who thought they knew her. And for the first time in her life, Katrina felt famous. But not seen. Katrina didn't touch the piano that night. Instead, she went home, changed into her Sunday dress, and walked to the little church on Jefferson Street. It was empty. She sat at the upright near the altar, old, out of tune, but familiar. And she played. No audience. No cameras. No applause. Just wood and dust and memory. And it was the most honest sound she'd made in years. Meanwhile, the internet kept spinning. Some were praising her. Others were twisting the story. Some accused the restaurant. Some accused her. A few said it was staged from the beginning. Browning put out a press release: "We celebrate Katrina's talent and are proud to have discovered her." He even used the word discover. Like she was a continent. Katrina didn't respond. Didn't tweet. Didn't interview. Instead, she played the piano at a neighborhood block party. She taught 3 kids a simple gospel progression. She laughed more in that week than she had in years. And still, the world kept asking. Where is she now? A month passed. Then 2. The Magnolia Room eventually stopped getting Katrina questions. The newness wore off. Fame drifted elsewhere, like weather. Browning hired a young woman to play the piano on Fridays. She was white, classically trained, talented. The guests clapped. Politely. But something never quite felt the same. Ricky quit a few weeks later. Started cooking at a community kitchen uptown. He and Katrina stayed in touch. One evening, as the sun dipped over the rooftops of their neighborhood, Ricky passed by the church and heard music drifting out the open windows. He smiled. Didn't go in. Didn't record it. Just listened. That was how Katrina liked it now. Not owned. Not managed. Not displayed. Just heard, by the people who needed it most.